My dear friend, let me sit with you for a moment and speak to you gently, slowly, and with a warm heart. I want to talk to you in a way that feels calm but powerful, like a mentor standing on a quiet stage, guiding you with a voice that encourages, comforts, and inspires at the same time. So breathe softly with me for a moment. Good. Let's begin our journey together. Build English confidence in 10 minutes a day. Imagine this. You wake up one morning, the light is soft, the world is quiet, and inside your mind there is a small whisper saying, "You can change your life today." Not with huge steps, not with perfection, but with just 10 minutes of gentle effort. 10 minutes that belong only to you. Even if life feels heavy, even if your days feel crowded, even if English sometimes feels confusing or scary, those 10 minutes are enough to open a new door. And I'm right here with you, guiding you slowly, step by step. You see, confidence is not built in one day. It grows the way a plant grows, quietly, softly, almost secretly. You water it a little every morning, a few drops, nothing more. And slowly it rises. Slowly it becomes strong. Confidence in English works exactly the same way. You don't need hours. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need to speak like a native. You just need these little moments where you show up for yourself, breathe deeply, and practice with kindness instead of pressure. When you give yourself just 10 minutes a day, something beautiful begins to happen inside you. Your fear becomes smaller. Your courage becomes louder. And little by little, you start to trust your own voice. Even if your voice shakes at first, darling, it still counts. A shaky voice is still a brave voice. Let me explain something gently, with calm words so it reaches your heart. Confidence does not come from speaking perfectly. Confidence comes from allowing yourself to try. It comes from letting yourself make mistakes without feeling ashamed. It comes from understanding that mistakes are not a sign of weakness. They are signs of growth. They show you are learning, stretching, becoming more than you were yesterday. And that is something to be proud of. I want you to picture something for a moment. Imagine you are sitting in a small room with a warm lamp on the table, a notebook in front of you, a cup of tea beside your hand. The room is quiet, safe, and soft. Those 10 minutes belong to you. In those 10 minutes, you read a paragraph, you listen to a short clip, you practice 3 sentences out loud. Nothing complicated, nothing stressful, just you and your gentle effort. Over time, this little daily moment becomes your ritual, a loving promise you make to yourself. And here is a secret many people forget. The brain loves small habits. When you show up every day for only 10 minutes, your mind begins to trust you. It begins to understand that English is not something to fear. It becomes something familiar, like a friend you visit for a short conversation each morning. And every day, that friendship grows. When you practice this way, slowly and consistently, your English grows in layers. First, you understand a bit more. Then you begin to express yourself a little more boldly. Then you start to think in English, sometimes without forcing it. And eventually, something amazing happens. You begin to speak without fear. Not because everything is perfect, but because you have learned to relax inside the language. You have learned to breathe inside your sentences. I want to talk to you about that feeling of fear that sometimes rises in your chest whenever you try to speak English. Oh, I know how it feels. It's like a small storm inside your ribs. Fast heartbeat, dry throat, mind suddenly empty. That fear makes you think you're not good enough. But let me tell you something softly and clearly. That fear is lying to you. Your mind is not afraid of English. Your mind is afraid of judgment. It's afraid of making mistakes in front of others. It's afraid of feeling embarrassed. That is human. That is normal. And that fear deserves compassion, not punishment. But each time you give yourself these 10 quiet minutes, you teach your mind that English is safe. You teach your emotions that you don't need to panic. You show your fear that you are in control. And with time, that fear becomes smaller and smaller, like a shadow that slowly fades as sunlight enters the room. My friend, you don't need to push yourself violently. You just need to show up gently, like a person watering a small plant every morning. Over time, the plant becomes strong. Over time, the leaves open. Over time, the roots deepen. This is how English confidence grows. Softly, quietly, consistently. When you practice for 10 minutes a day, something else happens too. Your ear becomes sharper. You start hearing patterns in English that you didn't notice before. You begin to understand tone, rhythm, emotion. English stops being a collection of strict rules and starts becoming music. And when a language becomes music, learning becomes joyful. Imagine learning English the way you listen to your favorite song, not because you have to, but because it awakens something inside you. Those 10 minutes can turn into your favorite part of the day if you allow them to be gentle, calm, and personal. Maybe you spend those minutes reading an inspiring paragraph. Maybe you watch a short motivational clip. Maybe you talk to yourself in the mirror, softly, like practicing with a friend. Maybe you write 3 simple sentences about your day. All of this counts. All of this builds confidence. All of this shapes your future voice. And here is something else I want you to hear with your heart. English is not about big words. English is about connection. It is about expressing your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences. Even simple words can be powerful when they come from an honest heart. Don't try to impress. Try to express. People will feel your sincerity long before they notice your grammar. Every day, these 10 minutes teach you something deeper than English. They teach you discipline. They teach you patience. They teach you self-respect. They teach you that you are capable of growth. And when you feel that, truly feel it, your world begins to expand. Sometimes you will feel tired. Sometimes you will feel discouraged. Sometimes you will think you are not improving. But improvement is often invisible in the moment. It grows quietly underneath your awareness, just like a seed in the soil. And then one day, someone will speak to you in English, and you will respond without fear. And you will smile because you will realize, I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. I want to talk to you about that feeling of fear that sometimes rises in your chest whenever you try to speak English. Oh, I know how it feels. It's like a small storm inside your ribs. Fast heartbeat, dry throat, mind suddenly empty. That fear makes you think you are not good enough. But let me tell you something softly and clearly. That fear is lying to you. Your mind is not afraid of English. Your mind is afraid of judgment. It's afraid of making mistakes in front of others. It's afraid of feeling embarrassed. That is human. That is normal. And that fear deserves compassion, not punishment. But each time you give yourself these 10 quiet minutes, you teach your mind that English is safe. You teach your emotions that you don't need to panic. You show your fear that you are in control. And with time, that fear becomes smaller and smaller, like a shadow that slowly fades as sunlight enters the room. Build English confidence in 10 minutes a day.
That moment will arrive. I promise you. It arrives for everyone who stays consistent, gentle, and patient. Take those 10 minutes each day like a small gift to yourself. Whisper to your mind, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm becoming more confident every day. Because you are. Truly, you are. When you give yourself 10 minutes a day, something subtle begins to happen inside you. At first, it feels small, almost invisible, like the softest whisper of change. But with each day, that whisper becomes a voice, and then a steady rhythm, and eventually a quiet inner strength that says, I can do this. I am doing this. And that voice, my friend, becomes the foundation of your English confidence. Many people believe that to improve their English, they must study for hours, memorize long lists of vocabulary, or push themselves until they feel frustrated. But that's not true. English is a language, not a punishment, and confidence is an emotion, not a test. When you try to force yourself too much, your mind becomes tense and closed. But when you give yourself just 10 gentle minutes a day, your mind stays open, curious, peaceful, and ready to grow. Confidence loves a calm mind. Confidence grows in spaces where kindness becomes a habit. So those 10 minutes are not just about English. They are about the relationship you build with yourself. A relationship where you say, I am worth this small moment of growth. I am worth the effort. I am worth becoming better. Sometimes, when life becomes busy or heavy, you may skip a day, and that's okay. Truly, life is not perfect, and you are not a machine. But always return the next day with softness, not guilt. Just whisper to yourself, I'm back, and then continue. That alone makes you stronger. There will come a time, and I say this with confidence, when English will stop feeling like something outside of you and start feeling like a part of you. You will begin to think in English without trying. You will begin to answer questions more naturally. You will begin to understand videos and conversations that once confused you. And when that happens, please take a quiet moment to smile at yourself, because that moment is the reward of your patience. Imagine standing somewhere in the future, maybe in a cafe or at work or on a call, speaking English with a calm and steady voice. Imagine the feeling in your chest, light, warm, proud. You look back at your past self, the version of you who was nervous, shy, or unsure, and you feel grateful that they didn't give up. You feel grateful that they gave you those 10 minutes every day. That future version of you is waiting, and it's closer than you think. In these 10 minutes, let curiosity guide you. Curiosity is gentle. It doesn't demand perfection. It doesn't push you harshly. It simply opens your mind and makes learning feel alive. And with curiosity, every English word becomes a small doorway. Every phrase becomes a little step. Every sentence becomes a new part of your voice. Do you know what makes confidence powerful? Not perfection, but repetition. Not talent, but consistency. Confidence grows when you show up again and again, even when you feel a little lost or uncertain. Think of children learning to speak. They make mistakes, they laugh, they repeat things wrongly, and yet they learn so quickly. Why? Because they are not afraid of being imperfect. They are simply experiencing the language. You can learn the same way, softly, joyfully, naturally. If a child can learn a language with no rules, no grammar lessons, no pressure, imagine what you can do with 10 minutes a day and a determined heart. I want to remind you gently of something important. English is not a mountain you must climb all at once. It is a path. A quiet, winding path through a forest. And every day you walk a little further. Some days the path feels smooth. Some days it feels steep. Some days you may want to stop and rest. And that's fine. What matters is that you continue, even slowly, even softly, because slow steps still take you forward. Confidence is not loud. It's not a shout. Confidence is a calm, steady feeling inside you that says, I trust myself. And trust grows through small promises. Each day you spend 10 minutes with English, you keep a promise to yourself, and your trust grows stronger. That trust becomes confidence, and that confidence becomes your voice. You may not notice your progress day by day, but one day, suddenly, you speak a sentence you never used before. You understand a phrase that once confused you. You express an idea that once felt impossible. And in that moment, you realize the truth. English confidence is not something you were born with. It is something you built, lovingly, patiently, bravely. Now, picture yourself at the end of a long year. You have practiced 10 minutes a day. That's 60 hours. 60 hours of growing, exploring, listening, speaking, reading, learning. 60 hours of investing in your future self. And 10 minutes is so small, but 60 hours is huge. Can you imagine how strong your English would be after that? Can you imagine how much braver your voice would feel? You deserve that growth. You deserve that confidence. You deserve to speak freely, without fear holding your tongue. So take these 10 minutes each day like a small key. A key that opens a new part of your mind, your heart, and your future. And every time you use that key, you are telling your future self, I am building you. I am taking care of you. I believe in you. You are not alone on this journey. I'm right here beside you, cheering for you softly, gently, proudly. Your English confidence is not far away. It is already beginning. It is already growing. It is already blooming inside you like a quiet sunrise. Keep going, my friend. 10 minutes a day. That is enough to change everything. The beautiful thing about giving yourself 10 minutes a day is that it teaches you something deeper than English. It teaches you patience with yourself. So many people rush through life carrying heavy expectations. They want results today. They want perfection now. They want confidence instantly. And when things don't happen fast, they feel disappointed in themselves. They believe they are failing. But you are learning a different way. a softer way, a wiser way. You are learning to grow like the morning sky brightens, slowly, quietly, without forcing anything. And that's why 10 minutes is so powerful. It removes the pressure. It removes the tension. It tells your mind, this is safe. This is simple. This is something I can enjoy. You no longer study English with fear in your chest. You approach it with a relaxed heart. And that peace becomes your strength.
Let me share something gentle with you. When you speak English, you are not only using words, you are sharing a piece of your soul. You are expressing your dreams, your opinions, your feelings. You are showing the world who you are. And sometimes that can feel scary. But fear loses its power every time you show up, even for just 10 minutes. Every time you whisper a sentence, every time you repeat a phrase, every time you write a small thought, you are telling fear, you don't control me anymore. Think about that. Your voice, even when it trembles, is stronger than your fear. Your effort, even when it feels small, is bigger than your doubts. Your 10 minutes, even on busy days, are shaping your future self in ways you cannot always see. But the growth is happening, quietly, steadily, beautifully. Maybe you've had moments when English felt heavy. When you tried to speak and the words got stuck. When someone spoke too fast and your mind froze. When you made a mistake and felt embarrassed. Oh, I understand. Truly, I do. And I want you to know something with all your heart. Those moments do not define you. They do not measure your intelligence. They do not show your limits. They only show that you are human, and humans grow through experience, not through perfection. If mistakes could speak, they would say, I am guiding you. If fear could speak, it would say, I am here only until you feel stronger. If doubt could speak, it would say, I don't know your future, but your effort does. And your effort is shaping something extraordinary. Sometimes when you practice English, you may feel like nothing is changing. You may think, why is this taking so long? But growth doesn't happen in front of your eyes. It happens inside you. And one day, without warning, you respond to a message in English faster than you ever have before. Or you watch a video and understand almost everything. Or someone asks you a question and your answer flows naturally. And in that instant, you'll feel something warm bloom inside your chest. Pride. English confidence doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives softly, like a friend who walks into your life quietly but becomes incredibly important. It grows through moments when you didn't quit. It grows through days when you tried even though you were tired. It grows through the small, simple habit of showing up. And here's something that always touches my heart when I think of you learning English. You are not just learning a language. You are learning to trust yourself. You are learning that you are capable. You are learning that you can change, improve, evolve. These 10 minutes are teaching you self-respect. They are teaching you discipline in a gentle way. They are showing you that you can build a new version of yourself one small step at a time. Imagine your future self again, the one who speaks with ease, who listens with confidence, who writes without fear. That version of you is not a dream. It is a destination. And every day you spend 10 minutes, you take one small step toward that beautiful version of yourself. And there's something magical that happens along the way. You stop learning English only to pass a test. You stop learning English only to impress others. You begin learning English because it feels good, because it makes you stronger, because it opens your world, because it brings you closer to who you want to become. That shift from pressure to purpose is where true confidence lives. My friend, you are building something precious. Not only your English, but your courage. Not only your vocabulary, but your identity. These 10 minutes a day are shaping your future with gentle hands. And I'm proud of you for walking this path, even when it feels slow. Even when it feels uncertain. Keep practicing, keep breathing, keep trusting yourself. Your confidence is growing every day, even when you can't see it. And someday soon, you will look back and whisper to yourself, "Those 10 minutes changed my life."